Tonight we revisit a case that sent shockwaves through the online world. A case of deception, manipulation, and unthinkable abuse that played out behind the scenes of what was once a seemingly wholesome family. Jodi Hildebrandt, the self-proclaimed counselor who partnered with YouTube mom Ruby Franke in what they claimed was a mission to guide families to a better life, is now seeking an early release from prison. Her argument? That she was not properly advised of her rights when she pleaded guilty to multiple counts of aggravated child abuse. But is there any real chance she walks free? Or is this just another desperate attempt to escape accountability? This disturbing saga first came to light in August 2023, when a 12-year-old boy, battered, emaciated, and barely clinging to consciousness, managed to escape from a home in Evans, Utah. He ran to a neighbor's house and begged for food and water, his wrists and ankles raw from being bound with duct tape. His skeletal frame and deep wounds told a horrifying story, one of prolonged starvation, relentless punishments, and systematic torture. When police arrived at the house, they discovered his 10-year-old sister in a similar state, further uncovering a nightmare that had been hidden in plain sight. The home belonged to Jodi Hildebrandt, the woman who had spent years branding herself as a family counselor through her business, Connections. She had been working closely with Ruby Franke, a mother and popular YouTuber behind the now-defunct Channel 8 Passengers, which had built a massive following by promoting strict parenting techniques. But as investigators would later reveal, the discipline promoted by Franke and Hildebrandt had crossed into something far more sinister: deliberate, calculated, and merciless child abuse. When law enforcement dug deeper, they found evidence of extreme punishment tactics. The children had been denied food and water for extended periods. They were forced to sleep on hard floors, isolated from the rest of the family, and subjected to physical restraint using duct tape and zip ties. Medical evaluations confirmed severe malnutrition, with one child's condition described as life-threatening. The sheer brutality of the case shocked even the most seasoned investigators. Prosecutors wasted no time in charging both Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse, each carrying a potential prison sentence of up to 15 years per charge. Given the overwhelming evidence, neither woman chose to fight the case in trial. Instead, in December 2023, both Franke and Hildebrandt accepted plea deals, pleading guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. During sentencing, the judge did not hold back. In a scathing rebuke, he stated, "What you inflicted upon these children is beyond comprehension. This was not discipline. This was torture. You betrayed the very trust a child should have in an adult." Both women were sentenced to serve a minimum of 30 years in prison, with the possibility of parole only after significant time served. At the time, Hildebrandt showed little emotion as the sentence was handed down. But now, just months later, she is claiming that her guilty plea should be overturned. In a recent court filing, Hildebrandt alleges that she was not given proper legal counsel and that she did not fully understand the plea agreement when she accepted it. She argues that her attorney was ineffective, that the prosecution engaged in misconduct, and that she was pressured into admitting guilt without a full understanding of her rights. Specifically, she claims, "I was not given adequate time to review my plea, nor was I properly informed of the consequences." Legal experts, however, are skeptical of her claims. Post-conviction relief is notoriously difficult to obtain, particularly in cases where the defendant has willingly entered a guilty plea. Court transcripts from her sentencing show that Hildebrandt was explicitly asked if she understood the terms of her plea agreement. She responded with a clear yes and signed the necessary paperwork. One legal analyst explains, "For her appeal to be successful, she would need to prove that her lawyer was so incompetent that it resulted in an unfair conviction. That's a very high bar, especially in a case where the evidence was so overwhelming. If the court finds her filing to be without merit, her sentence will remain unchanged, and she will continue serving time with no chance of early release before 2026. This case has not only captivated the public's attention but has also led to significant discussions about the dangers of family vlogging and the ethics of exposing children's lives online. In the wake of the Franke Hildebrandt scandal, Utah lawmakers have begun pushing for stricter regulations on family vloggers, ensuring that children who appear in online content are protected from potential exploitation. Some have called for mandatory welfare checks on children,